We're going to be working on the pantry today. I have a number of things that I like to use in my pantry to keep it tidy and organized, quick and easy to put away when the groceries come in, and clean and tidy so that my kids can come in, find what they need, and get out of it without making a mess. We're going to start here on the door. First of all, I love door racks. They make some, just all these little things. They're not going to get lost on our shelves, and these are fabulous. I don't love my door rack. This came with the house, and since I have other organizing projects I want to work on, this isn't what I love yet. It works. It's doing well. What I love, what I want, my dream of all dreams, is by Elfa. It's an over-the-door hanging rack, and they have so many different basket options in depth and height, and you can change, you're not stuck. These are stuck here. I can't change where anything goes. I would love my oils to be a shelf down, but they're too tall. If I had the Elfa one, I could have changed that. So I'll send a link to that if you're curious what my dream of dreams is, but we're gonna go with what I have here to work with. So we'll start at the top here. I put my oils and vinegars in these jars. I find these on Amazon. I label them so everybody knows what they are, but it keeps them tidy because when you use them, you just have one little drip that comes off the side, you wipe it up, and then you put it back. You don't have that same problem, or you get a bigger problem when you have the jars of oil and you're trying to pour just a little bit and a lot comes out, and then you have the little dribble down the side and then the puddle on the bottom. It drives me crazy. Anyway, so I also have these littler guys for the just a little bit less product that I use. I also put my vanilla in here because it works great because it doesn't all pour out and it doesn't dribble down the side. Next row down, I use a lot of dried beans and lentils and things that I cook. These aren't labeled because they're not always the same, but this is what I had left over from something that I made. I love the glass jar for it. I just think it looks fun. It keeps them fresh and airtight. Fabulous. Same thing down here. I've got my popcorn. I've got a couple of chocolates that I like to use to cook. The beauty of this is that everything has a place to be, and when I'm going shopping, I'm going to say this a lot, when I'm going shopping, I can open it up and say, I got a hole here. There's nothing in the popcorn jar, and I know that just write it down on the list real quick. I don't have to look for it and think, did I get popcorn last time? Is it lost? I don't know. So there it is. I love this. I love my spices. I love my spice rack. They're all alphabetized, which just makes my heart happy. But these little guys you can get at the Container Store. There's two different sizes. These ones are the little bit smaller one because I liked the way they fit. Another trick that I have here is that I have a piece of wood. Let's see if I can get it out. I have a piece of wood that I slide in between them to keep them tight so they don't slide around. They're there to stay. And what I do with the spices is when I'm out, I can see I only have one cinnamon stick left. When I'm all out, I go to the store and buy more, and then I refill this jar. Then I don't have 3 jars of cinnamon sticks lost in a cupboard, and then I just go buy more because I didn't know that they were lost in a cupboard. That works great for me. So we go down here. So I love spices. I've got a lot of spices. Okay, rule number 1 with spices, if you got married 20 years ago and you got that awesome spice rack and you haven't used some of the spices in it, it's time to get rid of those. We can just move them along. You're not going to use them. I love these little guys. These are, again, the iDesign brand, the Linus collection that I use in all of my drawers. They work great in so many scenarios. This holds my garlic. It keeps all those little papery flakes from going everywhere. It keeps my pantry tidy. This one holds the spices that come in those packets. I've got one down here. We can just jump right down to this one. This one's here for 2 reasons. This one's here because my kiddo loves maple and brown sugar and snow oatmeal. That's the only flavor he likes. I feel this whole thing with it. He loves this. But I do have one of those drawer inserts, same brand and everything, that I keep here because right above it is my syrups, honey, sugars, peanut butter, sticky stuff shelf. This is my sticky stuff shelf. And if anything drips, it gets caught down here and not my floor. So I don't have drips of honey across my floor. I did this because at one point I had drips of honey across my floor. I don't have that problem anymore. If it gets on a packet, I throw that packet away or just wipe out the inside. Done. Love that. So if you have any questions about this beauty, let me know in the comments. We're going to work top to bottom through this pantry, my top shelf here. This is an awkward shelf for me because I am short. I can't reach the back end. I'm not really that short. I'm just short enough. I can't reach the back ends. So if I put anything here that's small, it disappears forever for the rest of my life, and it's no good to me. So what I did was put vertical storage here. I would love to have one of those fancy, beautiful, pre-made ones that looks lovely, but mine are all weird sizes. I've got this fat circle here. I've got skinny guys here. I've got this big old guy right here. I didn't have the even spacing for everything. So what I did was I went to the Container Store. I got these wooden dowel ones. They're really inexpensive, and I used, this is important, it's a Japanese pole saw, and it's very flexible, so you can lay it right down on like a little peg right here, lay it right down there, cut it right off flat, so it's smooth. There's no pointy parts there. And I was able to size this just right. And then I went and got the 3M little thing, the hooks that you put on the wall that you just pull right off. I'll put a tag to that in the bottom too, so you get the right thing. I have those on the bottom here in a way that I can pull it off if I ever need to, and this whole thing comes out. But then this isn't moving. I could drill it straight to the board, but what if I want to change that up? I don't want a hole in my drawer. That works for me. I like this because I can just grab one, pop it out. I'm right next over here. Use it to cook with, and it's easy for the kids to put right back in. I do a lot of this because then I can have the children in my life help me put away things easily, and it's where I want them to be, and it doesn't have to be a puzzle piece to get back together again. It's very simple. There it is. All right, our next row, I love these. These are bins that I got at the Container Store as well. No, I'm not sure the brand on this. I'll have to look and see if it's the same, the iDesign Linus line, or if it's a different line. But it is in the kitchen aisle. You go to the Container Store, they just have a whole kitchen section, and you can just stand in heaven there for a minute and enjoy all the things. This one is my chips and crackers. It's labeled so that my children know. I don't need a label because I can see it. These are where all my opened chips and crackers go. I have a different spot that I keep closed bags that aren't open yet. I also have my bread and rolls one. So I usually put these in upside down so that my kids can see that this is white bread, this is the potato bread, and eat the bread first before you go get more bread out of the freezer, which I love. I love these bins. Whatever product that you have in your pantry, if you have a bunch of like things, get a bin, label it, and put them all in. If you have a lot of opened like chocolate chips and cooking things, get a bin, label it, and put all those little open things in there, contain them. It'll help so much to keep it tidy. This is another one. Well, first of all, this is another one of the Linus bins. I love these things. This was actually used in my previous house. I didn't have the drawer space, so it just works for Jello. Look how awesome that is. And what I've done, let me grab this out here. This is one of those, another thing from the Container Store or Amazon, to hold all of my, I don't even know if there's like a name for all these awkward containers that have these, they just bug me. They just bug me. Anyway, so this, you can slide them in and out. It can go on your shelf, but it also, what I did was bend one of them to make room for my Jello drawer and my pudding drawer. You know, you just work with what you have, and this is the space I have to work with. It works great. So my next row down here, I've got my granola bars. Same thing. I've got a bin for them. I like to go to Costco. I buy in bulk because I've got 4 kids and a husband. They eat a lot of food. But the boxes they're big and they're hairy, and I don't like them inside here. There's just not enough space. So I'll just refill this from my Costco bins. And so it's always easily accessible for the kiddos. And no, that's about it. I have a lot of these OXO bins. Oh man, I love these. Top, seal around it. Everything inside stays good. I also know by the label I'm out of almonds. I need to go shopping. But I've got all of my breads, like to make bread, and what else do I make? I've got rice and brown sugar. Oh man, these are great for brown sugar. They keep that air out and it doesn't get hard. I love it. I even get my salt out. Put my salt in these guys because they all stack on top of each other. So whether you choose the OXO bin or you choose a different brand, Now these come in every single size. Just get the same brand, stick with it so they can all stack on top of each other. It gives a nice clean look to it. You always know what you have and what you don't have because it's labeled. Label it. Get a label maker. I like the Brothers label maker. I've never had a problem with my Brother label maker. I've had problems with other brands, so I'm just going to shout out to Brother there. They did a good job. So my bottom shelf, oh, P.S. Up here, I do the kids' cereal, and I tried real hard to get those, the bin that has a little flip top where you pour, actually I have one down here. These guys, you put the cereal in, you dump it out, it keeps it nice and tidy, they're all the matching and the same. This was over-organized for my family. They couldn't handle it. So he stays down there in case I decide to resurrect him and use him again. My kids need to see the box. They need to see the label or they're not going to eat the cereal. I can't fix that, so I just went with it. But this is where the cereal goes, all in front of... these ones back here I don't use quite as much as I use these front ones here. So my cereal is going to block those ones. Keep in mind that whatever you use the most needs to be at the front of the shelf. The back of the shelf is for what you use the least. Getting bins where you can slide the whole thing, take up the whole shelf, and have it in that space, that's great too. So down here, this is a great tip for if you don't have enough drawers. I do not have enough drawers. So towels belong in a drawer. I don't have a drawer. So they get folded nice and square like this, put in this little bin. Then I've got my own little drawer going on down here. Same thing with my aprons. I just don't have drawers for this. This is another favorite of mine. So when my kids are making meals to go, and we can't, like the paper bag ones that we need to toss everything. They've got their spoons, forks, and knives. They have their straws. These little guys are the reusable ones that we can put in the dishwasher, and then a napkin, all ready to go for packing your lunches to leave the house. And I'm going to show you a super secret down here. Behind here, because I'm short, are my water bottles that I don't share. They're just a neat little line back there. Nice and hidden. Nobody loses them because nobody has found them yet. So shh, don't tell anybody. And then I have my Bosch mixer. He's a great little guy right here. I think I'd like him in a different location that was a little bit easier because he's kind of heavy, but this is what I have. This is what I have to work with. And then on the bottom are the things that I don't use a ton. I've got two little hooks here for my broom and my mop. And of course the Kirkland garbage bags, because we go through a lot of garbage bags. I think that's about it. So this helped you out. I've got more videos that you can check out on my channel. I have all the products, links to the products down below, so you can check those out if you want to peruse. And if you have any questions or comments or things that work for you, that don't work for you, let me know. Put them in the comments.